Alright, welcome to this tutorial video where we'll be breaking down how this Access Bank photo manipulation was done, all on top of the phone. So first I want to make the background. To do that, we'll create a new layer and want to get the blue background. So for me to get the colors, I'll make that visible again. If you press G, you should get gradient, but the gradient is right there, you can click it. If you press the Alt button, you get this color pick tool. You pick the color. If you press X, it allows you to switch, and then you press the Alt tool again and you pick the color, and you now have both colors. So I'll make this invisible again. I'll now draw a line down that creates the first gradient. It doesn't work because I want it to be the other way, so I'll press Ctrl Z and then I'll do it again, and yeah, that's what we're looking for. So I'm drawing the gradient from bottom up. It allows me to have the blue and the white top. So we have the background. Next thing we need is to bring in the phone. So this should be in the files that I will send to you. I got it online just by searching for iPhone. So I did open with Photoshop. So here we have the iPhone that we're using. We need to remove that background, so I click that button. It's called the quick selection tool. You can change the tolerance. You can make it 30. It allows you to pick more objects from the background. You can change to 10. It allows you to pick less objects. You get, so 10 is fine for me in this scenario. So a single click allows all the whites to be selected and leaves out the phone from being selected. I'll click this maxing tool at the bottom right here. I've selected that. Then if I want to get the phone back, just press Ctrl I or Command I if you're on the Mac. You get the phone back. So now the white background has been removed and you just have just your phone. So that's how that is done. So the next thing I want to do is to convert this into a smart object. Why am I converting to a smart object? It allows me to move this phone, change the dimensions, make it sharper, whatever, and it will not lose its quality. If you don't make it a smart object, it might lose its quality. It might become pixelated and all that. So we've imported the phone into the scene. That's like the second step. Now the next step is to start importing those objects you have on top of the phone screen. I want to remove that this color that's on the screen, this gradient that's on the screen of the phone. So there are two tools I could use to do that, but right now I want to use a quick selection tool. So just click one part and drag your mouse right across. It's selected already. I will then create a new layer. Right, then I would press Control and backspace. What that does is it takes whatever color is on my color palette and applies that as a color to my selection. So I really hope that is clear. So we now have that that's done, I'm trying to see if I can remove that. There's a little bit of red still showing, but that shouldn't be a problem. It can be fixed much later. So the next step right now is to go ahead importing those objects that appear on the phone. So I want to select the blue out of this. Currently tolerance is at 10. I want to see what happens if I increase that to like 50 at 19, and let's have that. So that's like a nice selection. You can click it again to make sure that more places are selected. There, you pretty much a good selection already. This is just supposed to save you time. I clicked the mask icon again. It allows you to mask out the background. Then I'll now convert this to a smart object. I've already explained the reason why we should have it as smart objects. It prevents it from pixelating. So we're importing that into the background that we have currently. So what we want to do is we want to resize this to make it that small. We want to resize this. Let me just zoom in here real quick. I want to resize this. So we let's turn that off. Now I'm trying to get this to become much smaller than it currently is. So I use this pick tool. I just make little pics of the image. I'm trying to get rid of these other elements in the background, but you shouldn't really be worried too much about this because we are trying to mask out the background, so it is still there, it's not deleted. The reason why we are doing this is because we want to be able to have the freedom to remove and to keep some things and all that. Right now we don't know if it will, how it will look like, so we're still making all the tweaks and all that stuff. So again, we might not need to convert this to a smart object. We just need to put it in a group, resize. So if we hit Control T or Command T, make sure you have that link pressed to prevent it from scaling out of proportion. I'm trying to now adjust the building on top of the phone. So I just want to get rid of, because right now it's looking somehow, I just want to get rid of the trees. I could easily put the trees back in. I just need right now just that monument, and it will be good. So after I'm done with that, I just make a selection. Then once again, I would go back to that mask I had before, and if you press Control and backspace, you would mask out what you have selected. So what I want to do is I want to reverse the selection. Click select inverse, so it selects everything apart from that. It selects everything apart from that object in the selection. Then once again I press Ctrl and backspace, and it will apply the color that is currently in your color palette at your left hand side, so effectively masking that part out. So don't be worried about how it looks. Most of these things always look funny on their own, but eventually when you start adding different elements into it, you tend to start seeing the beauty coming out. Let's see if we can bring the tree in. So right now I'm trying to resize this. Just be sure to click that link button to make sure that you are resizing it appropriately. I will get rid of the tree in the background and use that instead, so that sort of looks like what we have in the actual picture. And I just press the duplicate button, Ctrl J, and create another tree somewhere. So you don't really need to be worried about how this all looks right now, because trust me, we're still going to do a whole lot of adjustments, trying to fine-tune what we have currently. So the next step is to add in the monument park. So removing the background of this might appear to be a bit tricky. There are different methods to do this. So the usual problem one will encounter is you have this thing selecting some of the actual image that you do not want removed. So what I do is I create a curve. I want to make the image dark and make it kind of easy for the computer to know, for the software to know that these are different objects. I create a new layer. I do Control Shift Alt E, and it allows you to create a new layer from what it is currently seeing, like a screenshot. So you now have that as a layer. So I now drag this quick selection tool all over. You can see some places where this thing is not still selecting the image properly, and I just try to use the tools to deselect. So honestly, the best method for this is the pen tool, and in a moment I'll be showing you how that works as well. Currently, this images like this can be a bit of a pain if you're trying to select them appropriately, and your selection has to be smooth. You cannot bring some unsmooth image and present it as a finished work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this using this tool, the pen tool. to create this selection around the object. So if you don't know how to use a pen tool, you would need knowledge about it. It's quite simple. You're just making different points. If you keep your hand on the Alt button, you should be able to curve that point. So I'm just trying to select the part that was not initially selected, and there you go, make a selection. So Control Z, I'll supposed to click make a selection and add to selection. Sorry, subtract from selection. Alright, so this looks okay. There's a bit of unselected parts, but I mean this is fine. So we want to click the background, click mask, so that it marks out that part. We don't need this curves and layer 1 again. So you now have this already maxed out. Control I will invert your selection and allow you to see what you've done. Again, convert to smart objects, and we move. So let's place that, make this, hide that, and then Control T. Control T so allows us to select the entire thing and drag it down. So we have our second object in the background ready for us to edit. So right now I want to get rid of the extra parts, so I'll just draw curves around this thing to make sure I leave some parts and remove some other parts. Don't be worried about letting this be perfect. You could always import trees like I did to mask out any parts that do not make sense. You should see that in a minute. So again, you can click a place, and with the Alt button it will give you the option of dragging and curving that particular tool. So here we have everything selected. I would click the max button again, and boom, you have that out of the way. Convert, make this a bit smaller. So I'm trying to see if, rather than having sharp edges, if I just do like something for the background. I just want to see if that would be better than just having plain old I think I prefer it without the part I just added in right now. So I think that's what I would do and leave it there. So we have our second building in the building, and like I said, these things are maxed, so you can still make adjustments and all that later on. The next thing to do is the third statue. So I want to quickly deselect the hill right there. I really do not need all of that in the design. I've actually never seen this statue before. It looks amazing, totally amazing. Anyways, so just keep clicking and creating that mask all around. Right, so around, then click to the final one, right click, make selection. Okay, so you have that selected. A click on the mask tool and that is in. So quick magic wand to tolerance is 20, which is fine. The background, the blue background is clear. It makes it easier for me to make my selections. So that's fine. It's pretty much selected the whole thing. So once again, I'm going to click the mask tool. I created a group. I click the mask tool. You can just click it by yourself, either way. So I will now convert this to a smart object. You already know the reason why. So let me just close up all these other tabs. Oh, I just saw that blue. Yeah. So you click on the masking tool, would mask that out. Control I will put that back in. You drag that into the design and Control T allows you to bring up the transform tools. Drag that H back and forth. Then you have your edits looking a bit smaller. I want that to be behind that Ghanaian monument. I would name this Senegal because that's where the statue is from. Alright, so here I'm just making adjustments to it. So there you have it. You have your three main objects on the screen. Don't worry about how they are placed. We can still make adjustments. The next thing we want to do is add the building behind it. So to get that, I made a search for city PNG. So the thing that you have at the back is obviously a city, and then PNG is without background. Open with Photoshop. So I will drag this into the design with the sole aim of adding that in. So bring that to the layer in between Nigeria and the iPhone. Make that a whole lot bigger. So at this point, we just want to make edits to make it fit, to make it make sense, and all that. Currently, it looks like we have so much on the screen that it's hard to distinguish between the monuments on the screen and the buildings behind it. So watch me as I make edits just to get it right. You can fast forward these bits. So this right here is so like the basic way this was done. You would not want to have so much text in this sort of things. The catchy image is the one in the middle, then a very nice copy at the top, and that simplifies or explains what the image is, and then that's it. Any other information can be written in smaller letters or can be added in, but the major one, the eye-catching one, the one that everybody's going to notice first, is the image in the middle. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you had fun. Hope you were able to learn from this. I'll see you in the next one.